Hello, welcome to everybody. So many associations, national and international, so many scientists of all branches, medicine, genetic, epigenetic, the cell's memory, psychology. During this so important Congress communication have presented this obvious truth in all its aspects. The prenatal period of 9 months from conception to birth that any human being passes inside the mother's womb. Its first environment is constructing its physical, psychic, and spiritual foundations for the whole life. The human being information impregnated on the maternal environment receives from its mother her blood, but also her feelings, thoughts, speech, sensory impressions by hormonal and energetic way. It also receives the experience of the father through the mother and directly. And everything is inscribed on its cellular memory, shapes its body, and inculcates to its psyche qualities, character traits, abilities, talents, virtues, tendencies, beliefs, mentalities. Everything forms the basis of his creativity, its sociability, its happiness, and its emotional, mental, and spiritual opening. The formative power of the pregnant mother is so great that it can attenuate, even keep silent negative elements and amplify the expression of positive elements of the genetic capital. The father near her has, of course, an evident role. This new knowledge has enriched the current pedagogy. The couples, future parents, are the first and most important pedagogues of the prenatal child for all his life. So this knowledge is very optimistic, but on the condition that we consider not the past, but the future. We can't change the past very much. What is done will have its consequences. Little things we could probably be ameliorated. The womb's laboratory is closed and we can return to it. But the future is open, and that is why we are very optimistic. Every day, every year, all over the world, new couples are formed. Boys and girls fall in love and wish to create a family with all their heart, all their soul, desire to create beautiful families, bringing to the world children healthy, intelligent, beautiful, with an opening of heart and mind. We have a duty towards this magnificent youth. Our vocation is to transmit our knowledge to them, present them the prenatal education they have to offer to their expected children, inform them that this humanity of aggressiveness, of unrespect of human beings and of the environment, they can transform to a world of happiness, love, and peace, preparing from the beginning the education of their children with health, love, beauty, pride, and inspiration. But this gigantic role they have to learn and to prepare themselves, even since their puberty. Therefore, future parents proceeding to parenthood must have in mind not to damage their children, citizens of tomorrow, with vulgarity and ugliness, but instill them with values and civilization. These 9 months of pregnancy is not a very long period, and each couple leaves this epoch a time of reorganization of a new life. They are enthusiasts and more easily can adopt positive habits and life. The hormones of love of the pregnancy there afford a new sensation of energy and inspiration. More than 1,000 years ago, the Chinese founded prenatal clinics where expectant mothers spent their pregnancy in an atmosphere of serenity and beauty. And in ancient Greece, the education of future mothers and fathers was taking place in festivals, in the temples of goddess, in an atmosphere of inspiration and beauty. During these festivities, they were giving the youth the great idea they had the vocation to apply. And it was this idea that was showing them the way. Young men and women have to understand that a perfect parent, mother or father, doesn't exist. Life is full of difficulties to overcome. But the idea inscribed on their minds and souls that they are preparing the children of love and peace for a better society, a better humanity, this simple and so evident idea will give them the energy, the inspiration and love for a very positive creation of their family, instead of all difficulties. Their effort will first change them, their evolution, their health, and their state of awareness. Here are some advices presented by the specialists. We can say that a way of living positive, loving, inspired, noble, enthusiastic, deeply educates the developing child. Obviously, a healthy nutrition and a healthy life, as stated by Dr. Michel Audin, without smoking and alcohol, with rest, deep breathing, calm, walking in nature, regarding and imagining everywhere beauty and wisdom. This is a necessary beginning. But the most important advice we would give them, which contains all the others, is to live this unique period with unconditional love for the companion for their child, the environment, the universe. Also living with compassion for everything, for every negative experience, joy, elevation, gratitude and wonder, admiration and inspiration. Admiring beauty and wisdom in nature. They are transmitting beauty and wisdom to their child. They can contemplate the sunrise, a starry sky, the splendor of colors, flowers, trees, and mountains. These natural images around us are symbolic, connecting us with qualities and values. Connecting their child with the light, with the bright sun, with the stars, will help the new being to identify himself with the light and the virtues, and later on, she will have them as a guide in life. Admiring extraordinary human beings, their charismatic qualities will influence their imagination. Admiring works of art, listening to harmonious music, singing, playing an instrument, dancing, reading out loud, beautiful texts, cultivating happy emotions, transforming the negative ones. Admire the radiant colors around, decorate their house with them. The mother's imagination is endowed with a strong formative power. And if difficulties occur during pregnancy, how expectant parents could face them? They should know that they have what Dr. Thomas Verny calls a protective shield for their child, their love. It can protect against every bad condition. All that we offer to our expected children, they in turn will offer to the world, Dr. Thomas Verny says. The history of our world civilization goes to the same conclusions. In ancient Greek, prenatal education was taught by the philosophers. It was applied by the city-state as a basis for the education of young people. Young people should be determined to offer to the city-state the most beautiful, robust, and dynamic children. Plato says, it is not enough for families to have many descendants. The most important thing is that beautiful human beings are born. Thanks to this, the cities will have peace and the houses will be governed with wisdom. Pythagoras. In all the arts, the beginning is extremely important for the whole work. Thus, in the creation of children, it is the harmony of the life of the couple that is very important for its prosperity. Because the cause of violence in many human beings is the fact that procreation takes place in a bestial and illogical way. Always Pythagoras. During the time of procreation, future parents must be careful not to do anything morbid, brutal, immoral, or unjust, because all this would inevitably penetrate both the body and the soul of the child conceived. Plato. You came into the world with a great knowledge, Timon says, a great knowledge of nature, because the mother who carried you in her matrix has communicated everything to you by the thought. So important. But the most important of the ancient Greece period is that the city-state organized the education of young people for their parental role. Initiative festivals were organized for young people, boys and girls separately, and for the newly married women, in order to learn and fulfill their role as parents, and especially the maternal role. Newly married women in the festival of Thesmophoria, dedicated to the goddess of fertility of the earth and of humans, Demeter, were passed 3 or 4 days in the most important Greek cities, where were taught in the temples of the goddess, were taught the formative essence of their femininity nature, and became fully aware of their mission and responsibility to bring into the world a generation beautiful in body and mind. The Greek city was conscious of its duty to organize ideal conditions to make easy the accomplishment of this duty, and women were proud of this mission that the city gave them. We find similar advices, even more simple, in other old civilizations, also in the recent popular traditions and in the religion of many countries. It is important to see the accordance of all the sources of knowledge. But what is going on today? How is prenatal education in our 21st century? In this 21st century, all we know, the violence, the criminality, the birth diseases, the demographic problem that we are all living. Would it be better if governments throughout the world tried to attenuate the consequences of poorly constructed and badly lived lives, working their way back to the prime causes and taking better care of pregnant women, of future parents, instructing them in their role and giving them the necessary conditions to fulfill it. But here we have the example of Great Britain. On 2014, all the political parties of the Great Britain have adopted and signed the famous strategic plan known as a cross-parties manifesto, the 1001 critical days, the importance from the conception to age 2 period. Their goal is the amelioration of public health and of the economy of their country. Dr. Sally Davis, the Chief Medical Officer, presents this strategic plan with the following words. We know that not intervening now will affect not just this generation, but also the next. Those who suffer multiple adverse childhood events achieve less educationally, earn less, and are less healthy. And the cycle of harm is perpetuated in the following generations. The earliest experiences shape a baby's brain development and leave a lifelong impact of the baby's mental and emotional health. Children consciously prepared are very different of the others. Parents of today transmit to us. Many experiences are presented. Parents told us that their children, consciously prepared, were very different by the others. They had a profound and easy relationship with them. Teachers and professors had admired their moral qualities, their kindness, their natural joy, their love for learning, and their facility of concentration. Other parents tell us how attractive these desired children are, everywhere loved by their classmates and friends. And for ancient Greece, which had given us a long-term paradigm of general initiation, education of youth for parenthood, the French writer Édouard Chiret, in his classical work, The Great Initiates, writes, "The initiation of the young persons for the future parenthood, producing in women as well as in men a high awareness of the importance of the maternal and paternal role and their responsibility, must be considered as a true cause of the beauty, virility, and values of the generations in Hellenic antiquity, and the birth of such a great number of philosophers, scientists, artists, and governors during this period." But let's finish with this proposition. We adults of today, politicians, professionals, mothers, friends, or simple citizens, aspiring to the creation of a peaceful, healthy, altruistic, and wise humanity, must take into consideration this obvious truth. We are not anymore justified living our youth, future parents, without any parental knowledge about the so important vocation. We must prepare and implement for them laws, rules, and procedures, institutions for education, inspiration, and application for the accomplishment of their vocation, to create a new humanity of culture, peace, love, and values. I feel obliged to address and communicate to our young delegates, telling them that there are here in this Congress many of the lecturers, pioneers of this knowledge, searching, speaking, writing books and disseminating already for half a century, and they are continuing. Thanks to them, the youth will have the possibility of learning and creating beautiful and happy families. And this precious offer of the old generation to the next one must not be neglected, but received with gratitude and be applied for the good of our humanity. Thank you for your attention.